Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for our webinar, New Features of CST Studio Suite 2020. Our webinar will be 1 hour long. We will have a 15-minute Q&A session at the end, so if you come across any questions during our presentation, please ask us using the chat box, and our presenter will be happy to respond at the end of the webinar. I would like to get started with a brief introduction to our presenter. His name is Pankaj Jha. He's the Senior EMAG Solutions Consultant for VIAS. He's a graduate from Indian Institute of Technology, where he studied radio frequency design and technology. He has 5 years of experience in modeling and simulation of different types of electromagnetics problems. Now we will get started with a brief introduction to VIAS. Pankaj, would you like to take over?
Yeah, thank you, Beatrice. Welcome all the attendees for our webinar, New Features of CST Studio Suite 2020. Good morning and good afternoon to all of you, wherever in the world you are. So first we'll explain you about the agenda for the today webinar. That is like introduction. We'll definitely talk about the general improvements, what has been done in CST 2020, and we'll also see about the across industry enhancement like high-tech, transportation and mobility, aerospace and defense areas. Now, I'll give a quick introduction about VIAS. VIAS has presence in Houston, which is our head office, and at another places in USA like San Francisco, Detroit, and in Canada at Montreal, Toronto, and we have a presence in India. We do services throughout the world. We work as an engineering consultancy as well as a software sales. We are like partner, platinum partner for Dassault system product like SIMULIA, CATIA, Delmia, and 3D Experience. In the SIMULIA, we have from FEA to multiphysics, then a tool for electromagnetic CST Studio Suite, and Opera, which is for low frequency applications. We serve different industry, if you see, from energy and process to transportation and mobility, high-tech, aerospace and defense, and industrial equipment. And we also do like PLM implementation and automation, data analytics and artificial intelligence for different organization and collaboration of all those data on the 3D Experience platform. Now, if you see whom we have added a value to in the terms of consultancy, if you see FEA, CFD, and data analytics, all the big players like Delphi, Applied Material, NASA, ExxonMobil, Amcor are over here. And in the software side, in the sales like Hutchison, Schlumberger, MBTech are there, Microsoft, and Lockheed Martin, which are not listed over here, some like MEC Corporation, and Apollo Microwaves, Boeing in the microwave area. Now let us take, we provide like open house days and training to our customer. We conduct free EVACA support one open house days on first Friday of each month. And we also give like instructor-led training in the field of fracture mechanics, fluid mechanics, electromagnetics, the CST product, subsea engineering, and computational mechanics. We provide in-class training, on-site training, as well as online training to our customers throughout the world. So the question comes, why to choose VIAS? It has a global presence. It is an authorized educational partner as well as a sales partner and the platinum partner for Dassault system. Highly skilled workforce. We consist of 35 engineers and physicists who are PhDs and MTech of different background of different industry expertise to solve the customer problem. If you now to describe about SIMULIA electromagnetic tools. So if you see CST Studio Suite 2020, that has different modules on a single package, means the installation except antenna Magus and the Opera, the installation package will be same. from 2020. Antenna Magus and Opera has a different installation package. Otherwise, all the tools like PCB and package, which is for like SIPI simulation, we can bring in the PCB in the environment, and then we can do signal integrity and power integrity analysis. We have a tool for circuit and systems. Similarly, for 3D simulation, if you see high frequency cable, low frequency, particle, and thermal mechanics, the different physics which is catered with 3D simulation. The chip interface tool, CST chip interface tool, like if you have a Cadence Allegro board file that you can bring into the CST, it will automatically convert it into the 3D file. And on the 3D file, then you can do the EM analysis, and you can see like electric field, far field. If it is a far field based, then if it is an antenna, then far field. But if you want to see, like, let us take, you have a DDR4 channel, and what is the effect on the transition where on the motherboard when the DDR is connected, and how is the effect on the data rate. Then if you want to see the electric field analysis and all, then you can use the chip interface tool. Similarly, we have a different tool like Face 3D, Spark 3D, IDEM or system simulator, all integrated in one environment. And the new capability which has been added in CST 2020 is that CST 2020 is available on 3D experience platform as electromagnetic analyst, and it is a adapter over here so that a user can directly run the CST simulation on the platform, and it can also communicate with other physics. Like on a platform, you can have a other analyst, like and that can be FEA analyst who can model, who will model your design, and they can give to you, and then you can do the RF analysis on that. So the different portfolio of product, there can be an Abacus, there can be a CST, and we can do the simulation together. And the automatic, if we see, they have a same automatic update procedure like all this product. If we will be released like SP1, SP2, like a service pack release, that service pack will get automatically updated for all this product together. Now, in the project management and preview, if you see like there is preview and organize, and you have a different CST model here, and it can open very quickly, and you can see like different which solver has been used, what is the mesh size over here, and it do not open the model fully at all, but you have information about a model, which is a very good new feature. Like if you have 10-20 models and you have forgotten like what my model was has, like which solver I have used, you can quickly open it, and then you can see like how the model has mesh and all. And if you want to edit it, there was an edit feature, and then your model will open over here, and then you can perform like whatever you want to do, like adding a boundary condition, or you want to change the frequency and all for your previous model. So you have a preview of a project, and then from that preview you can select like which model. So what is the benefit of doing this is that like when you have a very big model which takes last time to open in a CST environment, then what means very complex model. Let us take a tank, means army tank, which is a very complex model, and it takes a time to load up in a CST GUI. Then you can have a preview of that, which type of solver I have used, what was there, what was the mesh cell, and if you need like to change the solver or do some editing, then you can drop down that over in a full mode in the CST, and then you can do the further analysis. So this is project preview and the management feature which has been added in CST 2020. Now in the navigation tree, if you see like for the complex model, we have also made a search option over here in CST 2020. From the search option, you can find the part number of your model. You can find like if you have a different, let us take you have a 60 port, and you want to explicitly find like some port number, then you can give in the navigation tree. You can find a material or the object using its name, giving over in the navigation tree. Similarly, if you see like all like there are different pictures which indicate something in this navigation tree. This is like improved component icons to highlight its children visibility state. If you see no content solid, means it is fully hidden, but it has some solid which is not hidden, and all content solid visible, means all the solid is visible. So that type of we can see, like in this case, if you see like one is visible, one is non-visible, so it is like some content solid visible. So seeing this icon only, we can recognize like whether all the solids are visible or not visible. And to make visible, you can right click it and then make like all solid to view. Now, even in the GUI top ribbon bar, if you see, like now there is a search window over here. Through this search window, like you can quickly type like pick age. So, or like in the CST earlier 2019 features, or like from the very past, from the legacy environment only, like there were like a lot of pick tools in CST, but like you don't need to go into the ribbon and search like where the pick tool is. But if you know it, then you can directly click like pick age over here. It will automatically come and it will be very quick to use it. And if you want to search help tutorials and examples, that all also you can do from the search environment. Now, the new features which has been added in CST 2020 is multi-pin lumped element. Earlier, like lumped element in 2019 version used to support touchstone as well as the spice in 3D. Now, what has been added is that like earlier the touchstone was able to take only 2 pins, or the spice can take 2 pins, but there can be an environment there will have like 3 pins or 4 pins. One can be grounded and 2 can be connected. So that type of situation can be also handled with like new multi-pin lumped element, and it replaces like schematic and ports. You can of course do a code simulation using CST with CST 3D with CST schematic together, but you can even do as a full 3D analysis, having like touchstone integrated in 3D and the spice integrated in 3D, which has a better mesh adaptations than the circuit simulator. Now, the new operation which has been kept in CST 2020 is that transform until touch. Like it can, there is a new feature over here, transform until touch. You have to make it parametric and interactive. And in this case environment, if you see it, like this feature, which we can animate the parameters like from -3 to +9 at a step size of 20, and we can see like how it behaves. This is the recorded video for that, for these features. And after clicking the parametric, now you can see now we'll move the sphere from certain point to in value of 20 steps. Now you can see like when we are moving the sphere like we have transformed until touch, it was moving. The best one, the next example which will explain more in clear way is that now let us little bit rotate it for this, and now make a parametric touch. Now it touched over there, and now if we move the sphere, so with the movement of a sphere, this bar will also move. So that is the best thing of using that touch until teach, and it is like parametric movement which we can see very clearly. Now there is one new feature which has been added in CST 2020 is the bending of flexible printed circuit board. So that feature to demonstrate here, earlier also there was a cylindrical bending, but we have like a multi-layer PCB and we want to bend it. So that type of feature can be also be supported at different angle, and we have to set the local coordinate system, and we have to set the like the radius and the limit of bending and the region of bending, and automatically it will bend for us, and at different direction and different angle and at different point. So this feature is more robust now in CST 2020. So Now the next case is like bending in multiple directions. So if we see this case, like we have bend tools, then bend layer stack up, and then if we prepare, then it will show like which face to choose, and after choosing that face, it will automatically bend on that part. Similarly for other part and for the other part. So if we need somewhere like a flexible PCB to be used, then it can automatically means using the bend tool features we can do it. Now let us move to the other feature, like in a Cadence Allegro file, EDA import file, you have a flexible PCB itself. So when we import in the CST environment, it should detect it. So that feature is there, like for detection of bend angle, as well as how much distance, how much radius to bend. And if you tick all those things while doing an import, if the bend is there in the PCB, then it will automatically tick all those things and do. And if you don't want, also that is possible using unclicking that. One new feature which has been added in CST 2020 is one is a report tool, which is in the ribbon tab, if you can see here. And this in the report tool, like we have like electric field. This electric field we can add to the report over here. Similarly, we can add model to the report. Similarly, we can add like far field or different 1D plot to our this report tool, and then we can generate that report, and that report will be generated in PowerPoint, that report, and then you can use for your presentation. So there are many more details which has been done in CST 2020. If you see the help section of the CST, then there is what's new in this version, and in this there is a release note for CST 2020, and the user which are using 2019 or 2018, then there will be a comparison between 2019 and 20, what is the upgradation has been done in 2020. So user can always see what is the new in latest version of CST 2020. Now we have a lot of established product in the market like Avagus, Isight, which is also a Dassault system product. Now we have a Isight. There is a CST adapter in a Isight for doing. Isight is a tool for doing optimization and result visualization. Although CST has optimization, there are very good feature which Isight support. Multiple data analysis for doing an optimization, and a variety of optimization techniques, supporting around like 30 to 35 optimization technique in Isight. So in this case, if you see the workflow for this, so the first is in the application component, we have the CST plugin over here, and this is the CST component, this model. You can drag and drop in the Isight. Then you can assign a task. That task, and you can even see in the CST model what is your CST model. In the CST model, you have a different parameter list, and in the table you have a different result. And this is the post-process result. And this post-process result, you want to see the data in the data analytics, how all the data are. Now these parameters, like you can load these parameters over here. These are the available parameters. Now these parameters you can directly drag and drop over here in Isight. So whatever the parameter we want to choose for our analysis, it has been added from here in this. And now we have to process component, and this process component, whenever we keep, that is a design of experiment, DOE setup. And this, after this DOE setup, we can give like number of points we want to do analysis. Let us take for 20 points, and the factors, like all these length will be set up, lower and upper bound will be set up, this design matrix and post processing, like we have to make it active. Like we want to see directivity to be maximized and S11 to the minimized value, and we can give the weight to that function, and then we can run the model. if we run the model, now these are the different results we are getting over here. What is the directivity for different length? For different length, what is the directivity and what is the maximum value? And you have a 20 graphs. It can be like multiple. You can make hundreds of simulation, and you see like different type of plots, like frequency of length 1, length 2. So this analytics can be done. So the same thing what I was explaining over there, like in a parallel chart, you can see like different data analytics. You have a scatter plot, how the uh, how the optimization has been done and how the data points have been chosen during the optimization, and all those can be seen, and it is very interactive tool to use using with the CST. Now there is a result access via Python. Now you can have a 0D and 1D result. Like if you want to make a automation, like your S parameter of let us take 126 run has to be saved in an Excel automatically. So you can write a VBA code for that, and you can integrate with the Excel with the VBA in the CST, and after each run it will automatically store the result in the Excel sheet using this Python code. Now another feature, if you see in CST 2020, which has been added, is measure point. In the 1D plot tool, if you have a 2-point indicated, it will see tell the slope and what is the distance between these two points. So the new enhancement in this area as well. Now from the CST 2019 version only, if we see in the design studio task, like there is a task parameter list for excitations. Now if you see, like if you double click this S parameter, it used to open as a pop-up window in 19. Now that window will be over here, that window as a S parameter over here, where you can change, if you wish to change the frequency and all, magnitude and phase of the individual blocks. And if you wanted to see about excitation, and you can give like what type of excitation you want, like this type of simulation is used in conjunction with like 3D or CS, means schematic together, which is our circuit simulator. And but if you want to use as a standalone circuit simulator also, you can use using CST Studio Suite. So this is one new feature which I like. Like we can even see like 2D plot of far field when we want to see from the top view. So or from any other views. So we can know like in the 2D field, like how which is the area where there is a maximum intensity of our E field or like far field. So that type of information we can get. So it is in UV plot in the GUI. Now that a very good new feature in array simulation tags, which has been added in 2020. If you see, like we can select the elements of an array and we can run the simulation. Like when we are running the full array simulation, now what we can do is that now if you see there is a group view. In this group view, like if we see this blue color has been given one group, then this color has been given one group. And similarly, if you see like this color is one group and this color is one group. And if we can select these groups and run the simulation, only fourth group or one group or third group can be run the simulation. The one benefit of doing this, what would be the benefit? Now if you see at this frequency, we have used this element number and run the simulation. Here is a setting like group sequential excitation. So the benefit of doing this is like, if you run a full array simulation and you want to see the result, but if you can choose a group which is most affecting your design of your array, like it has only the 9 ports, earlier while having 6 ports, and you have run a simulation with only 9 ports and you have a speed up of 7 times faster, and you are getting the result almost similar. There is a change in the side lobe level, we can see it, but you will be able to see what is the maximum directivity. So it gives us like an intuition beforehand, like okay, my full array is going to run safely and it will have like my intended my expected directivity. After that, you can give a full run if you need it. And this like beam forming can be done as a fast processing step, and that is also a beneficial thing. Now, if we see like antenna Magus enhancement, 22 new antenna has been added, and antenna Magus is a tool which is a designable database of antenna, and it consists more than 350 antennas, and a user can a very interactive tool. A user can give its frequency and other different parameters, and with that parameter it will construct the antenna automatically, a 3D model, and you can very quickly see its all far field pattern and 1D pattern and all. Now what has been added in CST 2020 is that synthesized advanced array with different far field pattern per element. Like if we have a distribution matrix of the array, and with each element, if we want to add the far field pattern, that can be also be possible. One new feature which has been added in CST means in Antenna Magus 2020 is transmission line calculators. So like if we want to find like microstrip line, what will be the impedance at this frequency and width of a line and dielectric constant, and all those calculation can be done when we need for calculation of um, like means transition structure and all for the antenna, it will be needed. And this is a new feature which has been added in 2020. CST itself has this feature for calculation from very early days. Now, if you see this new connector has been added, CST also has a database, means Antenna Magus also has a database of connector, SMA connector, P connector, N-type connector, different type of connector databases. Also, there are different type of transition database like coax to waveguide transition, then from microstrip to waveguide transition. Those type of databases already there in Antenna Magus. There are a lot of features enhancement which has been done in Antenna Magus. I don't want to talk more on this. If somebody will be interested, we'll give a support in that area. Please do contact us, and we'll give like what has been the enhancement in that side as well. Now, if you see, there is a customizable plot units. You have a time domain. You have a like Tesla. If we are seeing over here a magnetic field, so in different unit, but you can even add a prefix to it over here like mu t, like micron Tesla. If you want to see, so you can easily add. No, this unit is editable. You can add mu Tesla, so the result will be automatically converted in mu Tesla form, or milli-Gauss. Those type of means editing a string you can add to the unit environment and see the result. One new feature which was launched in CST 2019 was like encryption of the model, which really saves the IP. Like if we want to send the model to our third party, let us take to some vendor, or vendor sends you, then what we generally do is that we don't want to show our like how the model is, how the model has been modeling has been done, and how the excitation has been done. So what it will do is that when we encrypt the model, it will make as a dummy box, and it can be given to a third party. And now when the third party run that model as a importing in a CST, he can see the electric field, he can see the far field, but he will not have the information about the model, how the model is. So it keeps the IP of the company. But earlier in 2019 version, it was supported for time domain. Now it supports for frequency domain as well. Time domain solver with PBA meshing, which is our flagship. And if you see here, like it will automatically generate mesh, detailed mesh for antenna, where there will be a port region. Like we have an antenna placement environment, like antenna is placed inside a mobile phone. it will for the port region, the mesh refined will be more denser. Then it will be dense. But if you see like where there is a model like in this area, which is not much relevant for EMAG simulation, electromagnetic point of view, the mesh will be bit released. It will be not like very coarse, means very dense mesh. It will be a coarser mesh in that region. Now, different thing, if you see versatile, the time domain solver is versatile and efficient solver for all kinds of antenna simulation. It includes perfect boundary approximation, means it can model, means the model very accurately. Robust meshing for complex CAD model, fast and efficient, and it can run the large simulation with very limited hardware, and possible to use GPU to run massive simulation without massive hardware. We can have a GPU, we don't need to add like huge memory of cores and RAM. You can have a GPU, one GPU card, and you can run a very big simulations. Like can be a case like aircraft with antenna installed in that, and the aircraft size is like 42 meters and all, and in the wavelength it is around 2000 lambda structure. So that type of structure I'm talking about. But if you are fairly enough like 20 lambda, 50 lambda structure, you don't need to go for like GPU computing. You can do with a standalone system with like fairly like 128 GB of RAM and having a CPU processor of like 3.6 gigahertz or 2.7 gigahertz. Now, for the GPU side, if you see like Tesla V100 and other Tesla V was supported from CST 2019, and now this RTX 500 and RTX 600, RTX series has been added. These are a bit cheaper GPU, and you can see the speed up of this, and even if you see the comparison of a speed up with Tesla V, it is quite fair. This is good, but it is quite fair enough. Like if you are adding Quadro RTX 600, so at lesser cost also we can do like high performance computing in CST Studio Suite 2020. Now there is a lot of a new enhancement, and we don't want to live with the frequency domain solver standalone without any enhancement. But in frequency domain solver, if you see, there is a good meshing across the edges, which has been evolved from 2019. Now, if you see over here, there is a moving mesh feature. Like if you have made a minute change in micron, or if you have done in millimeter changes, and then again, once you do a changes, then what you have to do, you have to remesh it in the 3D environment. But the frequency domain solver, if you click move mesh feature, it will automatically adopt the mesh. We don't need to have to remesh, and it will also remove the mesh noise while doing that. And because of that, you can achieve the solution faster. And sometimes what happens while meshing itself, if you have a very large structure and if you have to remesh, it will take more time. But this moving mesh feature, if you see in the right hand side, it will automatically adjust the mesh. And this is quite unique in the market, which outcast with our competitor. Now, if you see in the Cable Studio environment, now SAM, System Assembly and Modeling, which is in our schematic wizard, where there is an assembly means environment. In that assembly environment, you can easily drag and drop your Cable Studio model, and you can integrate with any other 3D model. Maybe it can be an automobile, it can be an aircraft, and if you want to do wiring and all, and if you want to add a cable and you want to see like susceptibility analysis, then you can make a full model, and then you can make do your susceptibility analysis and all. Then another new feature, if you see, there is a SAM phantom. Like nowadays we want to see like the phone environment with the human body, and we want to see the SAR. So there should be a perfect alignment for that. So using our macro, which is a global macro, that is a SAM phantom import, you can import this type of a phone near to the human model. Similarly, we have a voxel model to import. You can import the voxel model and you can align both of them using SAM Phantom environment import. Similarly, the new feature which has been added is the auto gripping feature in CST Studio Suite 2020. So when we bring, we have already seen like with the human head and the mobile. Now when we bring the hand into this, so it should grip how it has to be, and we can even change this gripping using the auto grip means import. Now, new CFD mesh has been already in CST has a capability for solving like a sensitivity analysis from RF to thermal simulation, thermal to structural, and structural to again RF, a full sensitivity analysis. And if you see in thermal environment, we have like conjugate heat transfer solvers and all. And if you see the meshing, so what new improvement has been done is like new non-uniform background mesh was there in this case, in this area. So in 2020, that non-uniformity has been removed, and it has been able to capture the mesh. New mesh has captured the boundaries as well. Here, it was not captured in this case. Then the mesh point is here. Now, in this case, the mesh is originating from this point. So the boundary has been captured to see the effects. CST has an EDEM. It is a tool which is there from means like 2016 with the CST. And if you see EMs, like we might have a EM simulation result, or we have a measured result. From that, we can have a scattering parameter, and from that we can convert into the macro modeling, into the circuit parameters. And that circuit parameter you can run for time domain simulation, and it will also take into qualification of passivity and causality of the circuit, and then we can run the time domain simulation analysis for that circuit. So it is a good tool which is being used by EDA industry for macro modeling from EM simulation. And now in 2020, it supports mixed mode S parameters. Like if you have different S parameters from different ports, so for that ports, like all the S parameters, it can be taken into account. And visualize mixed mode S parameter you can see through this GUI, and then you can get its circuit parameters, what we call a macro model, and then you can perform the time domain simulations. So through this webinar, there are key takeaway. If you see the 3D experience, on the 3D experience, we have a electromagnetic analyst as a role defined, where a user can directly run the CST simulation in conjunction with other simulations together, or they can bring the model from the CATIA or SolidWorks on the platform and take into the CST environment over there, and they can run using an electromagnetic analyst role. So the one new another addition, that was an encrypted protected model. If you see, like it ensures the IP protection when sharing model data between partners and suppliers. Robust and accurate hex mesh with PBA drastically reduce the time to market. Another is moving tet mesh in frequency domain solver, tetrahedral mesh. It is based on tetrahedral mesh. For a small change in dimension, you don't need to remesh again. It saves a lot of time and remove the mesh noise, and gives very high accuracy in result. So this feature, and the flexible bending of PCB. So with this, I'm open for Q&A session. So if you would like to contact in future to VIAS, this is our like Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube page, and these are like phone number and info. So I'm open for a Q&A session.